What is going on, Colts Nation? And welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Your host, Cody Felger here. And guys, I wanted today to talk about this rookie class for the Indianapolis Colts, right? So Colts had a number of guys they brought in here at the NFL draft. In fact, they had 8 guys in total they brought in the 2025 NFL draft. So, with that being said, what I wanted to do here ahead of training camp is kind of look at their playing time here as rookies and kind of grade, all right, what do I think their playing time is going to look like here in their rookie season? Now, we'll start by saying some of these could very much be subject to change given certain circumstances, given some injuries and stuff like that. But with that being said, let's jump right into it. And we'll start with the Indianapolis Colts first round selection there at pick number 14. That is Penn State tight end Tyler Warren. And for me, this is pretty cut and dry. He's a 10. Tyler Warren's going to see the field as a rookie. He's going to play a significant impact and a significant role right away for this Colts offense. I mean, it's been well documented up to this point how bad the Colts tight end room was a year ago. I mean, when Tyler Warren has more catches in one game than your leading tight end last year, you know you have a problem. So Tyler Warren's going to come in. He's going to be an instant impact guy, and we'll kind of see. I think he has potential here, given what happens with quarterback, obviously. But if the quarterback gets him enough balls, I think he has a chance here to compete for Offensive Rookie of the Year. So Tyler Warren, for me, is a 10. I think he'll be the only 10 here on this list. Obviously, like I said, unless some injuries happen, I do think Tyler Warren's going to be the only guy that's going to be a starter right away. So with that being said, let's move on now to the Colts' second-round pick number 45 overall. The Indianapolis Colts went to their defensive line, and they took JT Mulawa out of Ohio State with that second-round pick. And for me, this one's kind of interesting because you look at this Colts defensive end room, there's a lot of guys in this room. You have Kwity Paye, who's been a starter the last couple of years. You know, Samson Ebukam is coming back from an injury. You have Laiatu Latu, who you drafted in the first round last year. You have Tyquan Lewis, who's always kind of been a role guy. So there's 4 guys right there that you're looking at, and then you factor into Mulawa into the mix. And so for me, I kind of have him as a 5 right now. And I do think he's going to see some time because we know how much the Colts like to rotate their defensive linemen. I'll be curious to see what Lou Anarumo wants to do with that unit and how much the Colts do, you know, sort of incorporate that and how many times they have guys rotating in and out. But I do think there is a role for JT Tuimoloau right away. Not as a starter per se, but I do think there are going to be certain packages where he is on the field as a rookie. And if he plays well, potentially could be on the field even more. But I'm going to start with a 5 right now because of the depth of this position. And I think there's a chance here that could go up with time. So JT Tuimoloau there with a 5. And moving on to round 3 now for the Indianapolis Colts. This was probably the most surprising pick for everybody here at pick 80 when the Colts addressed their DB room again by taking Justin Wally, the cornerback out of Minnesota. We saw what the Colts did in free agency by signing Charvarius Ward and Cam Bynum to their secondary. So a lot of people thought corner was off the board for the Colts, but the Colts really liked Wally. They targeted him early. They took him there in round number 3. And he's kind of similar to JT Tuimoloau in the fact that this is a very crowded cornerback room for the Colts. I mean, I think we can say right now definitively we know who their number 1 outside corner is and their starting slot corner. I think we can kind of maybe pencil in, not completely pen in Jalen Jones as that cornerback too. But Justin Wally, I think, has a chance here, whether it's as a starter or whether it's as a backup here to compete for some playing time. I mean, I kind of figure like corner, you can never have enough of these guys because of just the nature of the game and how many times you need good corners on your roster. And I think the Colts have probably one of the more deeper cornerback rooms in the NFL, to be quite honest with you. I mean, you still have Juju Brents coming back from a season-ending injury. You have Sam Womack, who played some quality snaps as kind of that number 2 outside corner down the stretch last year, and I thought played well with that. And you brought in Corey Ballantyne as well. So there are a lot of guys that are going to be competing in here with Justin Wally. He's going to have to earn his keep. Now, you'll say this, okay, this is like outside of Javarius Ward. This is the other notable defensive back move the Colts have made this offseason. So could that give Justin Wally a leg up? Perhaps it could. So right now I have him as a 5, just the same as JT Tuimoloau, because I could see him being kind of a rotational guy, maybe a special teams guy, the backup slot corner, potentially. Or maybe he gets more snaps than we're giving him credit for. But I'm going to stick with a 5 right now because I think there's a chance he gets some snaps. Whether or not he's a starter, I think he'll get some snaps of some sort. And potentially, like I said with Tuimoloau, if he gets more and he plays well, that snap count's going to go up for him. So that's kind of what I think there with Justin Wally in the 3rd round. Now, going to round number 4, the Indianapolis Colts addressed their offensive line. They took offensive tackle out of Iowa State, Jaylen Travis, with this pick. So for Jaylen Travis, right now I have him as a 3 when it comes to instant impact and playing time, just because he's not going to be a starter right now. If you're going out and playing, Jaylen Travis is not going to be in your starting 5. But with that being said, he's going to compete with Blake Freeland for that backup swing tackle position. And we know very well, we've seen the last couple of years, the Colts offensive tackles have had their fair share of injuries, especially Braden Smith, the right tackle. He's had some issues with, physical injuries and some other things as well. And Bernard Ryman's even had some times when he's been nicked up. So with that being said, there's probably a good chance that Travis is going to see some sort of snaps this season if he does win that backup swing tackle position. Now, to what degree, we'll have to see. But I do think there's a good chance here that he is a guy that plays some sort of snaps. And, knock on wood, something happens to one of your offensive tackles, Jaylen Travis could go from a 3 to a 10 pretty quickly here. So we'll have to see on that. But as it stands right now, he's a 3. If he wins a swing tackle, I might bump him up 1 or 2. But right now, he sits at a 3 for me. All right, let's continue on. A couple more picks here for the Indianapolis Colts. Round 5, the Colts addressed their running back position. They took running back DJ Giddens out of Kansas State there with pick 151. And DJ Giddens is going to be an interesting one because I do believe there's an opportunity for DJ Giddens to get some playing time here with the Colts, but he's not going to be the starter. We all know that. Jonathan Taylor is the guy. With that being said, Jonathan Taylor has had some injuries as well the last couple of years. He has struggled with staying healthy. And so you factor in a guy like DJ Giddens, he could have a role with this Colts offense. So we'll see what happens there because the Colts also did bring in Khalil Herbert to compete with the backup running back position. So how does that kind of play out? I do think he will have some sort of role, but DJ Giddens could be that 3rd running back. And so right now for DJ Giddens, I have him at a 4. But if he does beat out Khalil Herbert, he could have a chance here to bump it up even more. But right now, it's a 4 for DJ Giddens. All right, couple more picks here. Colts had 2 picks in round number 6. The first one, Riley Leonard, the quarterback out of Notre Dame. I think he's going to be at best quarterback 3. So unless something crazy like 2022 happens, which it's the Colts, I'm never going to rule it completely out. Riley Leonard's going to be a 1 right now. He's going to be a practice squad guy. He's going to kind of fill that Sam Ehlinger role. He's going to have to compete with Jason Bean for that QB3 position. But even if he does win that, he's not going to probably make the final roster. Or if he does, he's going to just be holding the clipboard. So Riley Leonard's a 1. Tim Smith is an interesting one as well because I don't really know what the depth 100% looks like behind DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart. So Tim Smith right now, this is one I'm just not sure on. I had him at a 2, but I really could see this go up, especially if the Colts feel like they need to rely on him. If something happens or, if Grover or Buck need a little bit of a break. The Colts did bring in Neville Gallimore, so how does he factor in as well? But I don't know with Tim Smith. This one, I definitely could be talked into a higher number. But for right now, I'm just going to stick with a 2 because he is a backup right now. Really good run stopper, so maybe he does factor in a little bit more. But I'm going to keep him at a 2 for right now, obviously subject to change. And then the Colts rounded out the 2025 NFL Draft by selecting Wisconsin linebacker Hunter Wohler. And for Hunter Wohler, I have him at a 3 because I don't really know what he's going to play. Is he going to be a linebacker? Is he going to be a safety? Is he going to do a little bit of both? I'm not 100% sure. I will say, though, the reason I have him a little bit higher than Tim Smith and Riley Leonard is because unlike some of these other positions like cornerback, like, defensive end, I do believe linebacker and safety are probably the two weakest positions in terms of depth right now. I mean, outside of your two starters in your free safety, Cam Bynum, who you brought in the offseason, and then Nick Cross, the strong safety, there's not really a definitive answer on who that next guy up is right now for you. And then the same with linebackers. Zaire Franklin is going to be your starter along with Jalen Carlisle, presumably. But outside of that, you don't really know who's going to be that other third linebacker. So Hunter Wohler, we'll kind of see what happens with that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but Hunter Wohler, I think, could see some snaps of some sort, but we'll have to see. But yeah, guys, that'll do it for my thoughts here on the Colts rookies and the playing time that I think they're going to have here their rookie season. Like I said at the top of this video, obviously very subject to change, and we'll just have to see as the season goes along. Things like injuries, poor performance, all that stuff could factor in to these rookies potentially seeing more or less time. We'll have to see. But guys, let me know your thoughts here on the 2025 class for the Indianapolis Colts. Do you agree with me on their playing time? Let me know all those things in the comments down below. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, all that good stuff. But guys, that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry we haven't had a ton of content recently. Life's been a little bit crazy for both of us, and it's still kind of in the middle of our craziness. So we're trying to get as much content out as we possibly can for you guys, but sometimes it's a little bit more difficult, so you'll have to bear with us. Do appreciate everybody for your support, but that'll do it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, guys, go Colts.